Say welcome, welcome. Happy winter solstice. You made it through the year.
Yeah.
And so I'll just tell
Yeah.
you, Sally Shakti and I have been friends and worked together for 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
She's been in the 11 Queens. And the other time I met her was I went to Chalice Well in Glastonbury. And that was the first time I physically met her. I mean, Chalice Well is a sacred site and it's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
the timing was remarkable, like meeting somebody that you've already connected with but never seen in the flesh. And there she was in Chalice Well. And then yesterday, as I was driving in London on Muswell Hill, and I had just seen a sign, an old sign on Muswell Hill, which is a place near me, it's a big hill, that said the original history of Muswell Hill was that it was called Mossy Hill, and it was an ancient sacred site. A Mossy Well was famous because a Scottish king had had a natural cure with the waters there, and it had become a pilgrimage site in the 1300s. So I've just seen this thing. Then I'm driving down the road and I look out and I go, oh my God, that looks like Sally Shakti. And like she lives in Devon, miles and miles away from here. But I was like, I'll just call her just in case. And sure enough, it was her. And she's been in the 11 Kings and Queens. So the second meeting that we've had live in the flesh, again, has kind of been this accidental, there are no accidents, meeting in sacred sites. And this one has been in London. Yeah.
That was our second unplanned meeting
Yeah.
at Sacred Sites. We also went on retreat
Oh,
in
of course we
Tulum.
did. God, I forget so many things. We've done so many things.
But always at Sacred Sites.
Oh, is it sacred sites? You meet strange and wonderful people. So I thought it was a blessing and to invite her to be here with us and to just say this, considering the aspects of this, and Maria Alejandra will be able to probably tell us a bit about the astrology of this, but we had Jupiter going direct yesterday and in Aries, which is this sudden whoosh, and it's got the adventure energy. And then we've got dark moon with the dark of the sun, and so double dark. And that is a truly, truly deep, dark, reflective winter solstice we've got going on. Symbolically, very much to do with womb space, that you go into the womb space, and that's in the dark. Dark of the sun, Monty, welcome King. It means that we're at the darkest phase of the sun. So this is the winter solstice for us, not for Maria, who's in Australia. She's doing the summer solstice at the same time, but it means it's the longest night and the shortest day. So this is dark sun phase rather than illumination, which would be the summer solstice, and dark moon. So double dark, the symbolism is both feminine and masculine are retreating, and the retreat is for great adventurous energy of passion to come through, and that's life force, and that's the birth force. Oh, and Maria Alejandra is saying the sun rebirths itself today. Yeah, so as of tomorrow we will incrementally in the northern hemisphere have more and more light, but right now all of you winter bunnies and one sun bunny, the energy of the winter solstice, which you're celebrating, is about deep, deep nourishment. And you can ask yourself, what does my soul desire? What does my soul desire for a reset, for nourishment? So I can open the floor to that and say, what does your soul desire for nourishment?
Home. Yeah, my soul desires stability, a place where I can ground, put my roots down into the earth and feel regenerated by my rituals and routines.
Because you've been a bit of a wandering
wanderer. Yeah, these last few months.
You've been a wandering.
Yeah. well, these last few years, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So if Sally Shakti ignores this piece and gets too much into the hypermasculine of what can she produce to prove her worthiness and all of that, which is the world how it's set up, then she'll ignore the very big piece, which is where does she get the fuel of the energy to create. And that's what we're looking at, really. What is the creative spark within the dark, rest, nourish, womb space? And I use these terms masculine, feminine loosely. It really is not talking about men or women. So Monty's in the womb right now. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean what your sexuality is or whatever, right? You're in the womb too. And it's just an analogy. And actually, really, a lot of this analogy was very much why Christianity landed on top of ancient paganism, because the indigenous people of this land believed that this was the rebirth of the sun, S-U-N, and the rewriting of the sacrificial king myth, which is so many other than Christianity. It's in Babylonian text. There's 14 different examples of the sun, S-U-N, which then translates to S-O-N in later writings. But really, the original was in indigenous teaching. This was the rebirth of the sun, and it takes place over 3 days, when on the winter solstice you can't see the sun. It goes over the horizon, and in Stonehenge, for instance, it goes over the horizon. So they've set up the temple to look at every single indicator of stars and astronomy. Sun disappears, and this is the story really of the descent of the king, the Sun King, S-U-N, that then gets retold as the death of the S-O-N king, and he then disappears for 3 days, and then he is reborn. Now that's the Easter story, right, in Christianity, but this is the literal story right now, that you're seeing this rebirth of the solar energy. So I'd love to hear how you are and what you feel your soul is yearning for. What would that be?
May I ask a question first?
Of course you can.
You said something to me, something that I've never actually heard before, and it's really interesting what you're talking about with, that this was the rebirth of the sun, S-U-N, and then Christianity jumped on top of with the rebirth of the S-O-N. And then when you mentioned that there's like 14 other civilizations or where it's like the death of the sacrificial sun.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that, because Christianity, well, this is my personal opinion, it feels like Christianity, a lot of it is just like an attack on people. And I'm curious to also see where they co-opted, so like how much of that story was co-opted from, just like, well, that's a very, that's a clear example, but from some of these other examples, how does it look like to you in your studies that it's co-opted specifically?
Well, you've got to remember the timeline of this. You're talking about indigenous peoples all over the world. Africa, India, Balinese, Swedish, all the Nordic crew, all the Scandinavian crew, all the Irish, all of that, Egypt, etc., etc. And they all have these stories in various different kingdoms or queendoms about a sacrificial king. They crop up, like, for instance, the Nordic one. I'm not specifically clear on this, but there is the death of a sacrificial god, and he hangs in a tree for 3 days, and he is then resurrected. They all have a different slight take on it, but the oldest thread of that, of his course, is watching the stars, which was one of the earliest examples of teaching of divine ways. And so when you look literally at that, I would say a great source is to look at Zeitgeist on, it's like a cartoon that challenges the current way of thinking. It came out probably about 2015. It's absolutely freaking brilliant if you see it. And Zeitgeist talks about one entire piece is about the monetary system. One entire piece is about the religious system or spirituality. And then the third piece is about the solution to all of this. Very modern, very cool, the way that they represent it. But, you know, it's like a modern retelling of this history that we've had. We've been sold this story that it's often Christianity is the credible story of this. Actually, when you go back, the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years prior to Christianity, they've got the same tale being told about there's the Sun King, the sun will descend, he will die, he will be sacrificed. And sacrifice is not necessarily the same as like he's going through some torturous episode. It's just he gives himself for his people. He serves his people and he gives of himself. And sun, solar is often most in every culture considered male, except for about 3 examples where it's not. One is Japanese, one is German. I can't remember the other one. Feminine is associated with lunar cycles, except in 3 examples where they flip it around. And you can see that by the endings of the actual words. So it just gives you a very different, huge vision of the world where this was such an important time. You were seeing the reset of the entire solar year. You were being asked to observe a disappearance of light of the source itself. And all these intermingling of words start to become, you know, when you say source, for me, that's often, source can mean God, goddess, you know, divine source. It can mean that. But sun is often called source in early texts. It's like the source of light. So it will be, you know, the obvious thing that we see as life force or the source. Divine, you know, even when you talk about the way that the word divine changes, like divining means that we are seeking visions, we're seeking like through the tarot or many different means to connect with the divine, and then it becomes divining. So you can see that we've got these stories that go on, but really the actual nature of it, you know, nature as in we are living the example of nature. Right now, we've got the example of nature as being, okay, we've got the longest night and the shortest day. And people would sit up all night telling stories. That was part of the ritual of today. They would do that around the Yule log, which Yule translates to light, Yuel. That's Hebraic. So you've got like the log of light, sunlight. We're trying to bring back the sun. You'd sit around with your community and you would tell all the stories. And then when the log had burned down and it was just a sprinkling of ashes, you'd gather the ashes and then you'd fertilize the fields for the good harvest of next year. So it's got a lot to do with visioning in your next year today. I could go on and on. Like there's so many strands of this, right? It's so many strands, but you get the thread of it. It's a super important day. Yeah, go on. Who said, can I? You can?
I think Michelle's sound
Is it Michelle?
on. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Sorry, I'm muting myself. I'm talking to
not
the
a
dog.
problem.
So sorry.
Did you want to say hi? No. Hi. Hi. Okay, so I'd love to hear from any of you who want to tell us. I mean, Nicole's just said her soul desire is rest, the feeling of being home, of rest. I've been nomadic for the last couple of years, and I'm enjoying feeling restful in home settings with friends who are like family. Perfect. Like this one. Anybody else want to tell us what is your soul desire? Even saying it means that you'll tap into it. Maria of the Sun.
In Australia. But because it's nighttime for me and I have a candle and everything going, I feel like I'm with you in the night, you know, the longest night for you. So I join you when it's night for me. So for me, what my soul is yearning, that I feel that at this time of the year, for me, this end of the year, Christmas time in Australia, is always very quiet. And I really like that, and I need that at the end of the year. And I don't know if it's popular in your part of Europe or where you are, I think the English translation would be the 12th night of Christmas, but it's actually, in German, it's called Rauhnächte, where people either they start at solstice or on Christmas Eve, on the 24th, 25th for 12 nights. You meditate every night, you smudge, you mark your dreams. And especially in I think in Germany or from the German-speaking part, it's become very popular. It's like a very old, I don't know, their old tradition what could be paganism, and it's becoming, it has like a revival. And I join always a medium from Switzerland since about 5 years for a meditation every night.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's what I do, and I really feel I'm going into that cocoon now.
Yeah.
Even though it's actually the longest days here, but
Yeah.
that's what I do. So yeah.
You can do both because you're Swedish, but sorry, Swiss, but living in Australia, and you got the German Swiss thing going on.
Yeah, and I also many know in Switzerland. So if I find more about it, I try to look it up more, and I don't find much written about it in English, so it's hard for me to explain.
Yeah, no, but I get it. It's visions, and that's a big piece of right now as well. Like stepping into the dark to start birthing your visions for next year. And then the sprinkling concept is to make them good, to make them, you really want them to be the year where you get to succeed in so many things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura.
Here we go. Yeah, it's a lot about home for me. The last 5, 6, no, yeah, hold on, where are we? 5 years, coming up for 6 years, I've been going in and out of my home, like renting my home, living somewhere else, and then going, I don't want to be here, I want to be in the countryside, long story. And I finally got to a place of like, oh gosh, I have this really nice home. And it's not been in the location that I wanted, because I wanted to be more in the countryside. But as I get older, I see people with country properties, and it is so much work. Where I was renting last year for a couple of months in the countryside, a huge redwood, like over 100 feet tall, just came down, crashed onto a condo. No one was injured. And they said there was nothing, this tree wasn't unhealthy. It's just what redwoods can do sometimes. They just snap. So I'm just like, I love my home. I want to I'm grateful for what I have and be settled here. So yesterday I was sorting out my garage, and it has 30 years of stuff. So I'm getting rid, just keep getting rid of stuff, keep organizing and reorganizing, and I've got a lot more to do. So that's my whole thing of just like, I want my house just in this place where I feel very settled here. And I want to have a partner, not necessarily that we'll live together immediately, or I don't know, I like having my own space, but I'm putting that out to the universe to go into the new year that I consider it from today. Yeah, with a partner and my home. So that's where I'm at.
Lovely. Home is important, I think, for a lot of people right now. Anyone else want to tell us what your soul desires?
I'll share.
Oh, please do.
Yes, my goodness, this is such a big, we've been in such a space of complete transformation, and we're like, I feel like we're in the thick of it. And the next couple of months, like between now and mid-March, it's like this tipping point of a closing of really big cycles and opening of new big cycles. We're going to feel big shifts in energy. My soul desire is ease. That is my word for this year, is to call in ease, to be a channel for ease, and to let that be what both grounds me and stretches me into new forms this coming calendar year. And I'm just sitting in the space of the, you know, the total liminal while walking around, right? Doing all the things in the world and also just sitting in the complete liminal. The fertility now is really profound. And I keep going back to, we're being moved from structures of complexity to simplicity. A lot of that we'll begin to feel it more into next year, and ease and calm. And for us to be really like channels to be able to ground that no matter what's happening around, because a lot will keep happening collectively. So yeah, and just be in that wonder of the unknown, parking the logical as much as possible, and just allowing ourselves to just keep opening up very easily. Like, yeah, just really tuning into like, how would nature handle this? You know, just even asking that question anytime we're like, how would nature handle this? How would nature perceive this? That's my soul desire. Yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. I will say that Natasha has said, I feel that my soul needs integration. So I'm just adding that to the conversation. Kerry, do you want to say anything? Because you're a newbie here, I'm going to add you. You're just unmuting somehow. You haven't unmuted. Oh, do you see right at the bottom of the, it's,
Yeah,
you know,
sorry.
yeah, there you go.
Just did something really weird. It was just trying to get me to change my background. But anyway, hi everybody. Nice to see you all.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm a newbie to this group. I think I like what you were saying there about parking the logical. I think this year coming, and also I really tried to do this year, the year that we're in, is to trust. So trust in that I'm on the right path, that I'm in the right place, that I'm making the right decisions, that the things that I would like to, my desires are, the right things are coming to me, and knowing and trusting my ability to know when to take action and when not to take action, when to rest, just allow things to happen, which is not my most natural state. I'm very action orientated. I'm very much in my head. I'm a very spiritual person, but it's just not my natural way to be, to sit and observe and allow things to happen without feeling an immense amount of anxiety and weird sort of nervous system just goes into overdrive. So yeah, and I guess that's all around trust and not allowing fear of the fear of things not happening the way that I want them to be, or my desires not appearing in as I would like them to be, or as how and being able to let that go, because I feel like it just has a massive impact on my nervous system, and it makes me very unhappy, I suppose. Like it's kind of, it's uncomfortable, that uncomfortable feeling. So being comfortable in the uncomfortable, I suppose, is another thing, or uncomfortable in the unknown, and trust in my abilities, trust in the universe. Yeah, I think that's probably it in a nutshell. Well, it wasn't really a nutshell, was it? You know what I mean?
It's a long nutshell. I love it. It's got so many elements. I think what you spoke into is that a lot of the pressure that we have in society right now is to figure it out and come up with a solution like yesterday. And what I am working with more and more, and I teach this and I live this, is taking time and allowing, if there's no pressure, for instance, over to me briefly, I've been manifesting a man. And so I've been seeing a guy recently, and on so many levels, he was great. You know, it's like I could go tick, tick, tick. There are all these things, and he became more interesting and all of this. And then there was a point when I was like, this just isn't it. And what I noticed with a conversation with my mum, who would love me, married, whatever, and to wear the hat and all of that, she's like, well, sometimes it takes time to see the person and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know, but I know this ain't the person, right? This is not my ceremonial man who gets those parts, which are, I'm all about ceremony. Top note is spirituality for me. If somebody isn't on that, you know, I'm having business conversations. So I had this moment of thinking, other people would like me to try longer with this person. And I know I went straight into my interior gut feeling, and I'm like, it's a no. And the minute I said no, which was last week, to myself, he has never contacted me again. And it's energetic and it's perfect. And then I had this moment where I realized that the profoundness of saying no, shutting down a doorway, like really, like, no, I'm not settling, opens up this whole other piece. It was like the universe was restructured. Dung, 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 dung. Actually, I've just said yes to the real ceremonial man, and it may take time, and that's okay. It's okay. No pressure. He'll crop up, but I have to say no to the things that aren't going to work, and I have to trust in the things that are going to work. So longevity of the thing evolving, I think, is a really powerful one with trust. So just saying, would anybody else like to
I just
say
wanted
what
to,
their soul is calling in at this point?
I just wanted to sprinkle in a little bit, since Carrie, a lot resonates from what you were saying for me. And we have the new moon in Capricorn in a couple of days, which makes this, like Inara said, extra special, potent, dark time. And we've been getting a lot of work done through Capricorn for the past couple of years, a lot of intense work. And I believe this new moon is a real clearing of everything that has to do with our work ethic. So whatever is related to how we work through things, how you structure the structures you build, your work ethic. We've all seen a huge shift in our work ethic, what we want to do, how we value what we do, our time, our energy, our resources. There's been a lot of work done through Taurus there. Capricorn's coming in to say they're the master builders. They build things that stand the test of time. But right now in this new moon, you would think like, oh, let me plant all the seeds. Yes, but don't expect them to really flourish until a little bit later in January into February, March, because then Mercury goes retrograde in Capricorn right after the new moon. So imagine a period of reviewing and reassessing and recalibrating your work ethic, how we do things, how we work in the world. That's why this time is also so potent. And then Jupiter in Aries is like, go do that. I'm recommending everybody, right? Keep a Jupiter list is what I'm calling it. A Jupiter list is a list of all the sparks and ideas and things that you like want to start doing like yesterday. Put them on a list and then keep them simmering until the end of January, because then Mercury goes direct, Mars goes direct. He's been doing a lot of work in retrograde in terms of action. And then into March, into Feb, and especially March. So, but it's a really potent time for us to see the new dreams around what is my work ethic and how does that harmonize with the rest of the world. And collectively, people will be shifting into massive new waves of understanding, but just like energetically shifting into a difference in how we do things. And some of us are feeling into the forefront of like, we're at the tiptoe of like, oh, there's something here that's new, but it hasn't quite materialized yet. So we don't like, we can't know it. We know it from a different place. But what you were saying, Carrie, speaks volumes to me about this opportunity of how we work things. And again, Capricorn is a master builder, so they will build something that stands the test of time, but they need time to really set the foundation for what is it that you want to build that stands the test of time. And that's the time thing that Inara was just saying. So it's all like deliciously gooey and like all makes sense in some way. So yeah.
Thank you. Right, anyone else? I want to pull a card in a minute for this group. I'm surprised that the chatterboxes in the world aren't saying anything. You know who you are. You know you want to say something, don't you? Yeah, you do. Monty, come on.
Fine, I will speak.
Right, let me get you, pin you in there.
Yeah, so right now, like, I'm in this interesting moment where I just realized I didn't set myself up for complete success for what I would like of time off at the end of the year. I mean, I've got 2 weeks, but with the way I was going to promote my workout pods like in December, and I started to, and I'm just like, I don't feel the energy right now. You know what I mean? Like come the 1st, everybody's going to be like, I'm fat. I want the new, you know what I mean? Like that's when it's going to be time. So I'm like, okay, well, I get to promote that first week of the year when I'm not working, right? Because I start on the 2nd week, and then I've got a friends coming into town on Friday through the next Friday. So I only have a few days where I'm completely, totally by myself, which is not necessarily enough time for me. So I'm kind of, one thing I want to harvest it within myself is just loving what's happening and, you know, and finding my own space and finding a different balance. Cause I have a life, I like to just like kind of do this number for a while. So I get to find the balance of like being with people and enjoying them and then walking away and then having a few days and just making it all work. Cause I know that next summer I'm taking my first time where I'm ever going to take 2 full months off. So like the cycle is just kind of flowing into each other. And then so that's just kind of like what I'm working through in the moment right now. And I'm just opening up to like, just letting it be fun and not letting it be the way I think it's going to be, which is too much. And then for next year, what I'm calling in is my word for the year is courageous clarity. Like clarity in my business, clarity in my message, and putting it out there more. And I've been in a cycle this month. I'm on a challenge to do just a ton of posts. And I meant to do 100 this month. I've done like 43 so far. And it's been great for me. Like I had my absolute worst performing post on Facebook ever last week, which was fabulous because like the numbers always just matter to me. You know what I mean? Like it's something I've had to work through. And I put up this post and I've got 10 likes on it, you know, which is just abysmal. And it makes no sense. It's similar to other posts that I've done, but it was so great for all the work that I'd done posting and trying not to be perfect and not like sitting on it, just being like, oh, this is good. This is fun. Put it out. And it's helped me gain clarity. And I'm like, I see myself shifting and moving really fast, like for myself. Like when that happened last week, I thought about taking it down just because it's like, I don't think it's a good look, but it wasn't bothering me. And then and somebody said something about algorithms and taking things down. I was just like, whatever, it's fully unpopular. That's okay. And yeah, so like, because next year I really want to be like, I want people to really know what my message is. Clear. It's coming in for me the last few months. I mean, you guys know, because, you know, the people that are in 11 Kings and Queens, it's really solidifying, you know, it's just how all the pieces work together. And so I know that in 2023, it's going to become really juicy, really clear. And I'm setting the intention for having a lot of fun with it. You know, like where before posting was scary, like I just want it to be fun. You know what I mean? I want to be connected. Like it's about creating community, connecting, you know, putting out a message that even just maybe one person that matters to, and not having to like be popular. Yeah, that's what I'm birthing. And I'm feeling really good and proud that it's actually happening, you know? You know how long
I can feel it. Woo!
You know how long I've been working on this. Like it's been like it's been a, you know, I remember Maria Alejandra, you and I had a call a couple of years ago. I mean, it's been absolute hell for me to get out of this box that I've created, you know?
The good news is that 10 likes for me is a good day.
all I see is a radiant man in a field of flowers
Yeah.
and the most magnetic human being. So just that is
Thank
plenty.
you. Yeah.
Yes, love you.
Thank you. I love you too. And thank you for being part of my journey too. Just generously, like
No, I love
out of a
that.
random connection, not even, you know what I mean? Like that was just awesome. I've had a lot of those in my life and there's so many people that have helped me get here. And I'm so grateful to like just everybody, you know, I've really been lifted up by a village. You know, a deep trauma.
Yeah, well, tribe, here we are, tribe. And you know what I know, really, truly, you know, that thing about pacing, timing, cycles, not pushing all the time. The way that I am starting to see my work going out isn't like those who get millions of hits and all the rest of it. But what it is like people will drop in and say to me, my God, I've been following you for like 3 years, 5 years, and you have absolutely changed my life. Now I have no idea of that, right? There's no indication of it. It doesn't show up for me. Like, I'm not that kind of coach. I'm not that kind of personality, but I'm now trusting that I had 900 followers removed from Instagram and I had a fit. I mean, I really was like,
I remember.
you, how dare you take out 900? It wasn't followers, it was the algorithm and whatever they're doing. And then I started looking at some of the bigger names and coaches, and some of them really don't have high numbers. They're like, they dropped me off the 2000 list. I went down to 1000 and something. But some of these people who I mean are mega. One in particular, Natasha works with her, Alpha Femme. She's got a turnover of $60 million a year, and I think her Instagram is something like 4,000 and something.
Yeah,
It-
60 million to date in 5 years, not a year.
Yeah, sorry, to date. With
To
yeah.
date, yeah, just to clarify, that's a
sorry.
very different. But it's only 5
Really
years. I
fair.
wouldn't mind 60 million in 5 years, but yeah, she hasn't got a huge following. But
No, not at all. And so it's not what you think is happening that we're taught. We're taught like, you know, it's Kim Kardashian and she loses a million, gains a million according to the size of her ass. We're not those kind of people necessarily. Monty might be, but at some point, you know, it's like you've got to just trust in you to be the way that this thing works. And clients still drop in for me and from unexpected places. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and just to pick up on what Maria Alejandra was saying, and Monty as well, you know, from a personal perspective, I'm feeling that too. I've been in the 11 Kings and Queens. I'm completely reinventing my brand, my lifestyle, my personality. It's all kind of, you know, that's all shifting. But I wanted to say, in relation again to the astrology, is like, Maria Alejandra mentioned that we've been having a lot of deep work done in Capricorn. Pluto's been in Capricorn since, well, I don't know, many years, like 24 years or something. You can probably say how many, Maria, I'm not sure. It's been in Capricorn for like a long time, and it's going to soon move into Aquarius. And when it moves into Aquarius, it's going to do, well, from my perspective, it's going to do the same job that it's done on the economy and our work ethic on the internet. Yeah. And I can see a lot shifting in social media. I can see a lot of people leaving social media and finding new ways, like more localized communities and just like more nourishing, you know, more. I'm only just really starting on social media, and I almost wonder if it's too late. I'm going to keep going, but I know that there's going to be new avenues that open up, because it's just not going to be about that anymore, like having this massive following and the way that it's, you know, all the ways that it's been built up to now. Thanks, Maria.
Yeah, great comments. And then also I'll just say, Michelle has said, for Monty, when you're in hell, keep going. Winston Churchill. It's a brilliant quote.
And Alora said about our astrology, the astrology for our project. We've got a new project beginning in January on the full moon, and the astrology says yes.
Yeah. So taking it into our deep ritual space now, let's all shut the eyes. Shut your eyes. Let's take you into deep space And then I will ask Carrie, because you're a newbie. You're an old bee, but you're a newbie. You're an old wise soul. I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to invite my guides to work with all of your guides so that we get some information about what is going on and what's the theme. And so we'll do 2 different decks. I'll start one with Carrie. So when you feel, just breathe. And when you feel it's a yes, just let me know and I'll read the reading for this.
Yes.
Oh, it's so appropriate. So this is the Avalon deck. It's letting go. Yay! We all get to let go of all that crap that we've been thinking about. And actually, this is the answer. So when you are going into, craziness about, oh, I need information, I need to know what's going on, blah, 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 and this is the way it should be, and I should be on social media, I should have like 25 hits, or it means nothing. Let go, let go. It's all rubbish. And I'll read this one to you. And when you really want to, like, I don't know if anybody's been in ceremony or ayahuasca or whatever, but you're like, I need to let go, but I really need to let go. It's like that. I know that I've got to let go. And then it's just like, actually, even breathing in more of that stuff, you can't but let go, because it's like, it's the control freak within trying desperately to hold on. So if you're feeling like you can't let go or you don't know how to let go, then breathe in the feeling of tension that you get, and then you will let go. So this is all about releasing attachments, expectations, and desires yet unfulfilled. These are some of the aspects of this card. When you receive this marker on your path, you're required to relinquish control and allow the mystery, which is the feminine, to act as she will, to weave life together as it is meant to be, according to the laws of the cosmos. You cannot force something to come or to remain if its true place is elsewhere. Remember that what is yours can never be taken away. Allowing is the key to this marker, for what is yours will come to you. The same applies to the past. This is the time to let go of old hurts, resentments, and unresolved anger, for they're no longer welcome burdens on the path ahead. Old and outmoded ideas about life, how you see others, who you are, based on who you were, these must also be left behind. Then you can move forward unencumbered, stepping into the magic of the new present that leads to the best possible future. So that is a apt and perfect card. And then I'm going to move to, I'll ask my Christmas pixie to, why don't you shuffle, actually?
Alright.
Let's let you shuffle. Then somebody else can, so we'll do the animal cards because they're very nice readings. So who would like to, well, actually, let's make it Laura, because you're working with Sally Shakti. The collaboration is happening. You've got to tell her when to stop.
Stop.
Koala spirit. Oh, spirit has a plan.
Koala spirit. Spirit has a plan.
These are beautiful cards.
It's very cute. Yeah, I love these cards. They're really nice. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is number 35.
Thank you. Okay, koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. In nature, the koala moves slowly through the branches of the eucalyptus tree, leisurely chewing leaves, reminding us that life is not a race or a competition. This is so on. This is so on point. Chasing around after every distraction can keep us from recognizing that we have all we need and that spirit will always be there with gifts to sustain us. You are being asked to trust that by moving slowly, with faith in the abundance that is everywhere, surrendering to a power greater than yourself, you will be able to experience the manifestation of your desire. As you take your time enjoying the riches available to you right now, sitting peacefully, you begin to radiate the joy and abundance you seek. Spirit is here to help you discover happiness, pleasure, and contentment. All gifts that are yours now and in the future. Have faith and trust in Spirit's plan for you, and know that you are loved and cherished.
Oh, it's so spot on.
Yeah.
It's like let go and then move slowly and trust.
I love that. I needed to hear that this morning. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I want to read this line again because I think I didn't read it great, and it really speaks to the solstice. As you take your time enjoying the riches available to you right now, sitting peacefully, you begin to radiate the joy and abundance you seek.
Very nice. Actually, that really clarified it. So there's nothing to worry about as usual. You know, it will all be okay. As my grandmother used to say, let's have a cup of tea. It's all gonna be fine after you have a cup of tea. So I'm gonna actually go and pour myself a cup of tea so that I've got a bit of a croaky throat to do the meditation. If you need a break right now, go do that. And do you want to go on the couch? Would that be nice for you to lie down?
You know.
Okay. I'm literally not going far, but I'm just going across the room and I'll be back in 2 minutes. You warm enough?
Thank you.
I've got a little blanket.
I got my
good shawl.
shaman's shawl.
Oh, great. You have to hop off 5:10, so you missed the end. Happy Christmas to everyone. This is from Natasha. Yeah, okay. Well, because it's a process that, and happy winter solstice to you too, because it's a process that I highly recommend you do the whole thing to close down the year. Natasha, come back and just do that for yourself. I think it'll really make a difference. It is one of the ones that like really closes this year off. Manchi, you've done this before.
I will do. Thank you.
And Natasha, I think you've done it before as well.
I think so. But
Yeah.
I've never
So
Never. Ashamed to do it again.
no. If you were doing it in real ritual form of my lineage, you would be sitting in a group with a cauldron in front of you. The cauldron is, one of the symbols of, in Ireland, it's very much to do with the cauldron of rebirth and regeneration. And so you sit in front of a cauldron. I no longer have one. I used to have one that was amazing. And you have a candle in the middle of it, but you flick it out. So you've got nothing of the light in the cauldron, and then you turn off all the lights. And so it's completely pitch black at this point. And you go through the ritual of what we're doing right now. And right at the very end, when you set your intention for next year, you light the light again. And it's like the light returns. So it's, obviously fulfilling on the sun concept. But you would normally be in darkness right now. So if you guys have lights that you want to turn off, please do. Take off your glasses, uncross your legs. Allow yourself to just sink down into a comfortable space. And take some cleansing breaths, deep cleansing breaths. You want to breathe into every center, every chakra center that you can feel. So you can breathe into the base chakra and exhale. Then breathing into the sacral, which is the creativity, sexual, lower belly one. Breathe it so you can feel your belly rising. And as you exhale, breathe out like black smoke. Breathing into the solar plexus. Breathing in, feeling it rise up. And as you exhale, just breathing out like black smoke. Imagining that you are a dragon, breathing out black smoke, a lazy dragon. And then breathing into the heart space. And as you breathe out, just breathe out like black smoke. Imagine that going out into the atmosphere. Then into the throat. And breathing out like black smoke. And then into the third eye. Breathing out like black smoke. And the crown. Breathing into the crown of the head. And breathing out like black smoke. Allow yourself to become present to where we are. In one of the deep teachings, which I understand at a very deep level, you cannot know where you're going unless you exactly know where you are. It's clarity on the path, clarity of purpose, of knowing where you are. So where are you? You are on the winter solstice of 2022. You are in the dark moon phase. You are on the 21st of December. You are in whichever country you're in. And you are in an energetic space of where all the deeds and inactions, actions, the mastery and mystery of the whole of this year has brought you to. You are right here, right now. And as you take yourself back to last year, I want you to imagine where you were the last winter solstice. Try and remember where you were. And this is half the thing about figuring out where you were and where you are, is because we can't quite remember. It all blurs. But this process we're going through is to unblur it. Where were you winter solstice 2021. In England, we were still in lockdown. We had had 2 years of lockdown. We were not free to move around the previous winter solstice, which is remarkable to even think we lived through that. Some people in other countries will also have experienced that, and some won't. So reflect, were you inhibited last winter solstice by being able to go out? I definitely was. And what were you feeling was going to be the year ahead for you? What did you say, the way we say always at this time of year, what is going to be the next year? What did you say to yourself? And then take a deep breath in, full body breath, and exhale like black smoke. And we move into January of 2022. Reach back in time. We were still in lockdown. Remember what you had said about 2022. Like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in 2022. I have these resolutions. I'm going to bring this about. What were you actually doing? How are you feeling about 2022 in January, right at the beginning? Were you happy? Were you with a great group of friends? Did anyone die? Were any babies born? Were you in love? How are you feeling? And taking a deep breath in, and we let go of January 2022. Breathe it out. And then moving to February. How are you feeling in February? What was actually happening in your life in February? How was your business? Were you overworked? Were you calm? Were you excited? How were your children? Take a deep breath, taking all of February in, and exhale it like black smoke. And then moving to March. In England, we had a spectacular spring in 2022. The flowers were divine. Lockdown had finally ended. But people were cautious, and there were no events really full blast or anything. People were just starting to trickle back to some form of routine. Where were you in March? Were you traveling? Were you booking tickets to travel? How was your business? How were you feeling about it? Were you doing well? Were you scared for the future? Did you meet any new connections? Did anybody die? Were any new babies born? Taking a deep breath in and exhale. And we move to April. going back into the energy of April. Were you feeling fulfilled with your friendships? Were you reaching your peak in your business? Ideas flowing, money coming in? Did you need to say goodbye to anybody? Any losses to do with changing direction and not taking some people with you? How was your health? How were your loved ones? And taking a deep breath in, exhaling April. And then moving to May. May and the beauty of Beltane and the incredible, in England it was a beautiful, beautiful month. Very optimistic. What were you feeling about your business almost halfway through the year of 2022? Was it working? Did you need to tweak anything? Were you exhausted? Were you happy? Were you starting to notice that a certain line of thought in business was working or was not working by May? How was your fitness? Did you fall in love? Did you go to any major events or gigs? And then taking a deep breath in, exhaling May. Now coming into June, that is only 6 months ago. How are you feeling in June? Halfway through this year. Was it showing up as being a really exciting year? Were you getting results in your business? Were you disappointed with some kind of result? Were you feeling despair, doubt, or sadness? How was your mental state? And on June 21st, we were exactly at the solstice, the other end of the spectrum of right now, looking to the last 6 months of the year. What were you thinking you needed to bring in as ingredients to serve you? Taking a deep breath in, let go of June. And then you're in July of 2022. How did that feel? Were you planning any trips? You planning travel? Did you do any ceremonies? How was your family? Your kids were about to leave the school year. Had they done well? Had it been a good year for them? Were you exhausted? Were you getting enough rest? How was your health? Taking a deep breath in, exhaling July. And then moving into the sleepy August energy. When many people travel, did you travel? You finally get a natural break in the work year. Were you feeling confident of the way that your work was going? Were you having to let go of some of your expectations? Were you disappointed about anything? How were your loved ones? Did anybody die? Were any new babies born? And taking a deep breath in, breathing out August. And then remembering the energy of September, how quickly it comes into being as we go back to school in our minds, our children go back to school. How was it this year? The rush of the final few months of the year, did you feel optimistic about your work? Were you frustrated that you weren't getting enough clients? As you slipped into the shadow months, some of you entered the 11 kings and queens. Do you remember entering that? Do you remember starting to work with your shadow king or queen? How are you feeling? And taking a deep breath in, exhaling September. And then we're in October, which was only 2 months ago, and it feels like a different lifetime. So acknowledge how far you've even come since October. How were you feeling in October? Were you traveling anywhere? How were your loved ones? Were you spending enough time giving yourself nourishment, or were you stressed out and overworking? Were you disappointed by the results of the year in your business? Were you having some moments of trying to come up with new ideas in October to try and kickstart something? Or had you already had an excellent year? Did you fall in love? Did you split up? How was everybody's health? And taking a deep breath in, exhaling October. And now coming to November, which was only last month. Hard to even believe that when you see how time flies. November, some of you came on the retreat that I ran, and we were standing in Avebury Stone Circle in Glastonbury in November together. It feels like a million miles away. Were you satisfied with the way that your business was going? Were there any new opportunities? Did you travel? Were you satisfied with your friends, or were you craving new friends? How was your relationship? How were your children? And taking a deep breath in, exhaling November. And you arrive in December of this year. 3 weeks ago was December 2022. Was December a welcome month, or was it a crisis month? Did you feel any sense of panic about the way things had gone this year? Was there any sadness, rage, anger, disappointment, or doubt? Were you seeing it as a successful year? Were you implementing new ideas and plans to tweak any of your message or some of your structures of work? How was the team that you're working with? Was anybody ill? Were you happy at the beginning of December? Did anybody die? Were there any new babies born? How are your pets? And then bringing it all the way to this very moment of the winter solstice, as you have formed a thread of understanding throughout the whole of this year, I invite you to come up with a theme. What was the theme of this year? If you had to sum it up, if you had to gather all that information, what was this year about for you? Was it a complicated year? Was it an easy year? And tell yourself, what is it that you learned? What was the wisdom of this year? And allow yourself to really reflect, what have you actually experienced this year? And then allowing that to infuse the next question I'm going to ask you, feeling the momentum of the wisdom of this year, there is a natural way of seeing what the next step is, the next influences, the next invitation. And so it's time to make 3 intentions for the next year. And the intentions are to be spoken, and we will say them out loud, even though you're muted. It's okay. Speaking it into being is part of the spark of light in the middle of the dark that happens. You speak them into being. And the way that you speak intentions is you say, I, your name, so I, Inara, and then the intention will be as if it's already happened in the affirmative language. So I, Inara, have met my ceremonial man in 2023, and we are magically happy and in the middle of a wonderful adventure. So you can see how you're speaking it not as if you're trying for it, it already happened. So speak the first intention to yourself now, out loud. And then going back in again to dig for some more wisdom. Dig it out of the cauldron of the experiences you've had this year. What is a natural second intention that you are going to speak into being? And say it in the affirmative and speak it out loud to yourself. And then the third. And one of them has got to be not just a thing that you're pulling towards you, but what is a state of being that you wish to bring in next year, in the next cycle? What is the state of being, the beingness of you? And speak that as your third intention. And then once you've spoken your three intentions, after you come back, which will be in a minute, you can write those down for your intentions for 2023 and allow yourself now to just go back into the cauldron. Imagine you're sitting in darkness with your brothers and sisters around a cauldron in nature, in the forest, and it's dark, and it's dark moon. So it's got that velvety darkness. And this is a time for deep rest. For you to take some deep, deep rest. And the deep rest of letting go. There's a rest in that. Nothing to do. You don't have to do everything. Nothing and nowhere to go. Even though it's party season, you don't have to go. You can just sit peacefully and experience a certain level of rest, of letting go. The letting go of trust, that you trust where you are. You trust that all will be well. And allowing yourself to let go of that control and know that Spirit has a plan. Great Spirit has a plan. And so bringing your hands together, rub your palms together. Rub, 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 rub. And placing your palms over your closed eyes. Breathing in and exhaling. And then you can rub your temples, your jaw, your hair, your throat, back of the neck, heart. And allow yourself to gradually come into this space, and then I want to do the final symbol with you. So think of your intentions. You can see some of you writing them. And then look this way. And this is when we go. The return of the light starts tomorrow. And we're all sitting around the fire, the Yule log, together in different places on the planet, different cultures, all of your backgrounds, your ancestral knowledge and wisdom, sitting around the cauldron. And this is the cauldron of rebirth and transformation. And so feel the profundity of the stillness of this time. In fact, what I'll do briefly is just turn off this. So you can just feel that, the rest of this beautiful, trusting light, taking you forward, knowing everything is all right. Everything will be okay. My grandmother had had an extremely tough time, you know, through the Great Depression, through 2 wars, actually, first and second. And that piece of wisdom, like, we're just going to make a cup of tea and everything is going to be all right. And it's just so true. So if you would like to stay on a bit and just speak your intentions, it'd be amazing. Let me turn that down a bit. It'd be amazing to hear anybody who wants to speak your intentions. You happy there?
Yeah.
She's very happy there. She's lounging.
I was so liminal, I couldn't even form any intentions. I'm doing that now.
She's just getting to the intentions. Yeah, and for me, it's funny, I couldn't even remember some months at all. It was just like, I don't know. I have no idea what went on, and lockdown had a definite impact on some of that. It's just the blur of 2 years. But anybody, if you'd like to say your intentions, I don't know, Maria, if you'd like to, because you're in the middle of the night and you might want to go to bed. If you want to be first, feel free. You epic legend, you.
Oh, my intentions are you came back. I think to say the intention, I like to thank 2022. And also, I would say it in the first part, it's now a year that we reconnected. Well, we always been a bit in touch. And then when I saw your Facebook, on Instagram Live, and you say, oh, join us. And then I thought, oh, yeah, I started to join beginning of January.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, we met. What year was it?
I think it was 2000.
2000. And Maria
Or
came.
2001. I can't remember. 2000 or 2001.
Yeah. She came all the way from Switzerland to attend a very witchy workshop I was running in Glastonbury 20 odd years ago. And then as we left the retreat, it was horrendous rain. And I remember that I'm never going to get a mobile phone. I'm not into that technology. It's, who needs a phone all the time? Forget it. And then we got caught on a motorway in a horrendous situation, like the car broke down within, that much of the motorway. And she had a mobile phone, modern woman that she was, and we were able to escape. And then I got a mobile phone and I was like, I don't need a mobile phone. Now I'm on the phone all the time. It's like my life. So it's been a profound connection. And then we found each other again in the last.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. And that's because of technology. Thank God for technology. So, well, I wish you many blessings over there in
Also,
Australia.
so for my intention, the first thought that
right.
came is trust,
Yeah,
and yeah, I trust that the present moment is the right moment to bring more calmness into it. And yeah,
that's
and
the main one.
I'm healthy and strong in my body, physically and mentally.
Nice.
And a
Maybe
few more.
you got a few more.
Thank
Great.
you.
Pleasure. And if you want to go to bed, please do.
I'm not sure. Maybe I go, maybe not.
Okay. Does anyone else want to say theirs out loud to the group? I'm looking for indication. Oh yeah, is that Alora? Yes, you're saying yes.
I will. Yeah, I want to be in a happy, healthy, loving, sexy relationship.
Ooh.
And I want my classes and workshops with Sally Shakti to just be off the hook next year and really successful. And just
Let me tweak the way you're saying it, right? You're saying it, I want.
oh yeah, I will be.
Get rid of I want.
That's right.
I, Alora,
Thank
am
you.
in a healthy, happy, sexy relationship in 2023.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes. So I actually said that when I was doing the meditation, but I'm going to say it now. So I am in a happy, healthy, sexy relationship, romantic relationship in 2023. My classes and workshops with Sally Shakti are going extremely well and they're a success. And I feel, and in 2023, I am very content and very happy.
Fantastic. May they all come true.
Thank you.
I'd love to say mine as I get to hop off. Thank you,
Hang
Alora
on, where are
and
you?
Maria.
I've got to find you. Yeah, I know. I've got, I don't know how, if you've got a massive group in front of you, how you find out who's saying something. It's a basic, bit of a tech issue. There you go.
Yes, so I, Maria Alejandra, am a channel for ease in 2023. Everything I desire comes to me with ease and grace and love and joy and hope. I, Maria Alejandra, am a medicine woman in 2023, and people from near and far seek my magic and my willingness to help them grow. And I, Maria Alejandra, am enjoying a thriving, purposeful, easeful business that lights my heart and is in complete harmony with my life and my family. And yeah, and people find me with ease. It feels easy and it feels fun and it feels joyful. And I feel I am completely worthy of it all. And so it is. So it is. And so it is.
So it is. Wonderful. Mwah.
I love you all. Happy winter solstice. Thank you, Anara. I adore you. This was
Adore you
profound.
back 10
And,
times as much.
I will see you all very soon.
Sending you so much love, and to Jules and to Skylar.
Thank you.
Amazing. And so
Thank
much
you,
love.
Thank you.
So much love.
Thank you. Same. Right back. Mwah. Love you all.
Mwah.
Bye, Maria. Much love. Bye.
Mwah.
And then Nicole has said, oh my God, that felt so capital nourishing. She's disappeared, but are you still there visually and restful? Got so much out of taking the time to reflect month by month on the year. Powerful. My intention, I, Nicole, move, expand, and play in my life that feel nourishing, orgasmic, and fun in all areas of my life, all relationships, in business, in health and wealth. That's a very nice, like, I want that too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still there and you're lying down. Okay. No problem. I like the orgasmic bit. Actually, I have to tell you all, I had quite an extraordinary experience recently. It was quite funny. I went to a gong bath and I ate a little gummy, which is one of those mood altering gummies that I got in Canada that we can't get in England. And I didn't expect much. You know, I lay down, it was normal, and the gongs start going off. And then all of a sudden, it was like something happened. It was like sexuality, kundalini poured through the whole of my body. It was astonishing. Like, I mean, to the point where every gong was like, oh, you know, and then I was like, this is so over the top. Like, for me, you know, I'm not with anyone or anything happening. And then I just let go to it. And it was like I was initiated into this next level seduction, seductress kind of thing. And it was just simply unexpected, pretty mind blowing. And so the way I am going to be, my beingness, I, Honora, am fully seductive in 2023. So that's the kind of thing. But those things are rare, you know, when you are hit sideways by an emotion, a feeling, or whatever. So there's doors opening right now. It's not like I was planning any of that. Watch for what is unexpected. There are pockets of experiences opening for us right now, which are simply guiding us in a different direction. So I thought I'd share that with you. I shared it with the gong woman, and she was like, oh, some people have orgasms spontaneously during gong baths. And I'm like, really? Okay, cool. So anybody else want to say your intention out loud? And if you don't, then we can bring this to a close. I will just say again, happy winter solstice. Genuinely, I hope you all feel like you've closed off the year, whether it was a good, bad, or ugly one. You just allowed it to now, doors are shut. And it's time now to really, you know, enjoy this night, experience the storytelling with friends or anybody, communicate, even if you're not with anyone, with a dog or an animal, just share your stories. This is the night, that's the tradition. And one of the other things that the final piece on the tradition is, you know about the Yule log, so lighting a candle, keeping that burning. If you can burn a fire, do that, get the ashes and sprinkle it on the land. The final thing was a very interesting ancient being who was a cross-dressing trans good luck symbol. And so some of the community would dress up as half man, half woman to symbolize transition. And it was considered extremely lucky to let that being into your home. So it's a little bit of that, and I'm a little bit of this. I'm sort of here, but I'm not. I'm over there too. And that feeling of in-betweenness is the transition. It's okay to be becoming, like be becoming, rather than, oh, I am that or I am that. And that's part of the teachings of this time of year too. So may you be becoming whatever you need to be, and sending you so much love and happiness for the season.
Thank you, love.
I was
See you later.
Thank
Happy
you.
solstice, everyone.
Happy solstice.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, much love. Bye.
Happy
Dixie's back.
solstice.
Happy solstice.
Happy solstice.
Thank you.
Hey, Michelle in the
solstice.
car. Yay.
I
See you later.
couldn't unmute to share my intention, but I'll post it in the Moonrights portal.
Okay, cool. All right, darling. Loads of love. Mwah.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
I've got a novel.